So today I'm going to be showing you all the books you need to get, all the books you need, the most important ones, all for all the courses. I've got all the books here, and I'm going to be showing you everything. So let's get into it. First off, I call this the most important book in medical school, at least my medical school. This one in preclinicals, this is the most important book. Why? Because you literally can't do without this book. This is the Nether's Atlas of Human Anatomy. So anatomy is a course where you need to see. So anatomy is something that if you can't see it or visualize it, then you're just memorizing stuff and it's going to be very easy for you to forget. Trust me, I've been there. My first book in anatomy, I didn't use an atlas. I was just reading the slides all over and over again. It made a little sense because what they are talking about are things you can see, but with an atlas, it gives you more insights. You're able to understand. You're able to understand better when you see it in the slides, when you see in the textbook, and you're looking at the atlas. It makes it easier for you. It's just like a map. So this book, even if you're like me and you don't really read books and you don't really like big textbooks as much, this book is a must-have. It has all the diagrams you need to have, everything during dissections. You're going to be using this book a lot, and it's going to really, really help you. So the next one is this one under anatomy, Keith Moore's anatomy textbook. So this textbook is this is the main anatomy textbook that you need. Any edition works. This is 8th edition. The most recent one is I think 9th or 10th, something like that. But my point is, this textbook has everything you need for anatomy. Like, it is even more than enough. Many of the books you're going to do, you're not going to read this book. You're not going to finish this book. The last time I read this book was few months ago. I don't actually read this book, except for clinical correlates. Except I'm doing clinical correlates. The last time I actually read this book because I wanted to read it, that was during upper limb, the first block in anatomy. That's when I actually used this book. But it's quite time consuming to read what is here. So I just read clinical correlates from here every now and then, I use it for more insight into some things. There are some things that might not be very, very explanatory in the slides. They might not be well detailed, or lecturers might tell you go and read this, or know more about this. That's where this textbook comes in. So this is Keith Moore's clinically oriented anatomy by Keith Moore and Atodali and Agro. So we move to the next ones. These ones are still under anatomy too. Remember I talked about how anatomy is divided into three: gross anatomy, embryology, and histology. So I've talked about gross anatomy. You have an atlas and you have a normal text. Now we move to embryology. For embryology, this is Langman's embryology textbook. Langman's. Look at this. So this textbook, if you notice, like, it looks very, very similar to this. Look at them; they're very similar. They are by the same company that produces these books. So this is Langman's medical embryology. Many lecturers love this textbook. Most of their material comes from here. Like, he has this, like, they really love this book, and it's very interesting to read. Although it's he has some very, very how will I explain it? He goes a little bit too in depth. Talks about hormones, all these factors and all these things. Many of these things you don't need them. Even lecturers they will not tell you to bother about them. But it's nice if you just read about it. Nobody's going to be asking you. It's going to be asking you what factor is. They're not going to be asking for molecular regulations of somite formations. All these things. They are very nice to know. But the most important things out of this book are the real, the clinical correlates. You find out what that means very soon. Don't worry. The clinical correlates and the most important things, there are other things there, the text, the summaries. Yeah, the summaries are very, very important. If you just want to get, if you want to get the big picture before you go into reading, this is very important. So this is the first book, Langmans Medical Embryology. Now the next one is Indebi Singh's Medical Embryology. I like this book a lot because it has a lot of pictures. It's compared to this book, it has more pictures. Yeah, it's more animated. Let me put it that way. This one is more animated, that one is more explanatory. So they kind of complement each other. So you can decide to buy the two books if you want to, but it's not compulsory. I only have one of these, and I don't really read these textbooks as much. So this one, as I said, it has a lot of, it's more of points, more of, it's more animated. Like I said, it has more flowcharts and diagrams, and it's also easy to understand. This one is better to understand when you just want to know points. You just want to know points for exams or things like maybe lists. When they're like, okay, list this. This one has a lot of lists. It has a lot of points in it. So no textbook is perfect between these two of them. One is more explanatory but has a lot of molecular regulation and all these deep things that we don't really need to know. While this one is just straight to the point, but it's not as explanatory. Even though it is more animated, it has more diagrams that help you understand better, but it is not as explanatory as Langmans Embryology. Next, we are moving to histology. Histology is the third part, the third branch of anatomy. So the first one is John Craier's Basic Histology. This one is a text and an atlas. So histology, like I said before, you'll be looking at all these pink things and all these pink pictures of different tissues in the body. So you'll be learning how to, things like this, although it's not really as confusing as this. But they are easy to understand because I like how these texts are. This is the picture and then this is the explanation under. I don't know if you can see this, but there are annotations here. Although they are not very, very clear here, there are annotations here and they show under here. These are the explanations based on these annotations here. So it's actually very easy to understand. This textbook has a lot. It's just like the Langman. It's just like the Langman of histology. It goes in depth when it comes to explanation. It goes very, very in depth, like extremely in depth, to the point where you don't even need to, like, there's some information you just look at it like, I don't need this. Not that you don't need it. You don't necessarily need to know it, but it goes very, very in depth. He has a lot of clinical correlates and it's a very, very good book. I started off reading histology with this book. Then I moved to the next one, Singh's Medical Human Histology. So Singh, this same person is one that produced this Singh's embryology. Singh's embryology. So it's the same company, because it's not the same author, but it's the same company. You get what I mean? So Singh's histology is just like Singh's embryology, very, very animated, like very, very animated. I love this book so much because of the way they explain the diagram. No, they don't really explain the diagram, but the way they label their diagrams, they have more clear diagrams. They have less of real life photomicrographs, which are the real images that were taken, the real images of the tissues. This is more like cartoon, but it's very easy to understand. This is not the book you want to read for practical exams. It's not advised to read this for practical exams, because these are processed. Even if they were taken by camera, they have been highly processed to make it very, very visible. But in real life exams, histology pictures, nobody is going to show you something that is this clear. I'm not saying it's not this clear, but they are not going to show you. The tissues are not like this. So there are usually variations, even if it's they can decide to zoom in on one part and then take it to somewhere where you not easily know that this is what tissue this is, except if you look out for some certain things. You're going to learn about that too, how to differentiate between tissue structures. But this book is more of the book you want to read for theory exams, because he has, like I said, like the other one, the embryology counterpart. This one has a lot of details, has a lot of points rather. It's very very explanatory, more like a summary type thing. They don't really go deep into explanations here. It's just so straight to the point. While the first one, John Corrales histology, this one, John Corrales histology, is very very in depth. He has a lot of details, like a lot of details, lots of explanation, and more of live photo micrographs. You can see it here. He has a few animations, but very very few animations here. There are even 3D electron microscope diagrams, but we are not going to be using. We are not going to be seeing. We are not going to be dealing with electron microscope pictures. We don't use electron microscopes yet, so it might most likely not either. So that is all for the anatomy textbooks series. So there are also under gross anatomy, there are also some other books, like these books, they are manuals. Use them for dissections, use them as guides during dissections. They show you, they just teach you what to look out for, where to cut, where to start, surface area, surface, what do you call it, surface markings, where you should mark out, where you should cut, where you should not cut, how you should cut, how you shouldn't cut. So these books, they are called the Cominam series. There are 3 of them. Look at it. There are 3 of them, 1, 2, and 3. So these books under anatomy. So I'll start with the first one. This is upper and lower limbs. These are the first 2 blocks you do in anatomy. Let me show you. It tells you, for example, let me look for the first dissection. So under this word, something like this, you see something like instructions. It tells you instructions, objectives. For example, now this says to reflect the skin on the front of the arm and forearm, and to find the cutaneous vessels and nerves. So this is now another instructions. Make an incision as shown in the figure. The figure here. So it has a lot of references. It just tells you how to cut things, what to look out for, and it just gives a little bit explanation about what you should see, the structures you see, explains them a little bit. This is like complementary. This complements the atlas, because when you cut, this has more of explanations and directions when you want to cut, but it doesn't have a lot of pictures. So the atlas is what you now use. Hold on a bit. The atlas is what you now use to look out for. For example, now these are vertebrae. Maybe you're doing thorax now, and you're looking at thoracic vertebrae, even though this is cervical vertebrae, but you're looking at bones. This is what you use. Let me look for real dissections here. So for example, look at this. Now this is the upper. This is for upper limb. This is the upper arm, the muscles of the arm. Now look at this. This is very and more of more one is more animated and one is more like real life. No, I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So that's kind of the same thing with these books, although they are more similar than the embryology and histology series. So it's not like one book is filled with cartoons or anything. Biochemistry is not, there's nothing in biochemistry that we are seeing with our real eyes. We are talking about, we are viewing the body from a molecular and molecular level. So we are not really talking about oriented, even though it says essentials of medical physiology. You say it doesn't go too in depth. Okay, so this medical physiology textbook is not really too in depth like that. about the real concept and not the details there. No, you need to talk about the details, but the concepts are the most important. Eduhub store. They are very amazing. They have good customer service and they deliver on time. They don't waste time when it comes to delivering. So I hope you got a lot of value from this. I'll see you on the next one.